bracket. The games will only get more as we go on. So here we've got Xavier coming off a hot 2-0 here versus 13 going into this set. Honestly, so you did mention these two briefly.
Yes.
I think honestly we're just gonna have to watch and let the game speak for itself.
Sure. I think that is the wise decision to say here in a matchup like this one. But I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna make a call here. I thought that 13 was just too dominant in their set at this point. I think he's too calculated. The spacing is too on point. He's gonna take it. But hopefully, I mean, I could be proven wrong. Oh my goodness. As I say that, you just gimped one of the best recoveries in the game vertically, brother. What the crap was that?
For sure, absolutely wonderful knowledge here in order for 13 to go way back there in order to take Xavier's stock really early here. Coming back in here, Xavier going to try to get his footing back. Going to get a whole lot of damage on the board though already here. And then going to send out the gunman, sending out the... However, it is Xavier who's just kind of swatting all of these things away as as 13 is coming back to stage. However, Xavier's just kind of running back, trying to get his bearing, sending him off stage, not into the can just yet here as 13 is opting to stall off stage, coming back in and now avoiding the can just barely, jumping back and forth here in order to try to find some kind of advantage here on Xavier.
And someone just said Xavier just played a heart-pounding set and is back into it. That's a good point. And okay, takes his first stock. That could be a factor in this one, especially at the beginning. I will say, one thing that we saw before from Xavier is he forces his opponents to shield with his mass amount of projectiles and traps and bombs. But we're seeing the floatiness and the movement of 13 means he can weave around things, not have to shield, and still take stocks like that one off on the side, proving that he is playing this matchup right now to perfection.
I don't know if you saw just back there, but the way that 13 was able to position himself right above the cam was absolutely phenomenal. He knows exactly how far he could go and then is just able to put on so much damage here. Going for that grab here, sending in Xavier to the upper platform. Xavier air dodges and still gets hit by the massive hitbox here of that up air. Coming back here to the center of the stage. Gonna get sent off stage yet again. 13 just continues to pile on this damage here. Coming back in, and that is a clean game one on the board for 13.
Anytime Xavier wanted to create space, brother got run down, chasing down that dog like it was a freaking race, man. That is insane. Oh my goodness, 13 is a menace at this point. Brother looks unstoppable. I predicted it to win this one, and man, based on that, it's looking pretty accurate at this point. I don't know if we are Xavier. I'm not entirely sure what we adjust, because look at this. Anytime you wanted to create space at this point, you got run down, and he called out the aerial right there of Xavier back on the stage and punished it with the nair. He was 5 steps ahead before we'd even started on the stairs. That was incredible.
Yeah, I think that what someone like Xavier wants to do is try to get established as quickly as possible from the get-go. Do not give 13 the chance to get in, because he is going to take it and run with it, as we saw in this set. I think it is going to be absolutely imperative as well for Xavier to try to get some of these combos going by, number one, waiting for 13 to make a move. Although he does play a pretty fast character, he still plays a very floaty character. So I think that that's something that Xavier can exploit for sure.
That's true. Dude, I felt like in the middle, you're right about that. So he can avoid that, he can use that to his advantage. I think that's some great analysis there, Pearl. If we're looking at this, I mean, what a flex from 13 right here to be like, yeah, I don't really need a coach. I kind of just won that full by myself. You talk to whoever you needed to talk to. I feel like in the middle of the match, he was like, hey, you might need to talk to your coach or something, because this is not looking good for you. He's making a statement out here. But Fawn is the coach of Xavier, and that person is a phenomenal player. So adjustments absolutely can be made here. Pearl, what did you like what you saw from 13?
So, what I can say that I like from 13 is I saw a lot of what I saw in previous. He has phenomenal space. I think that that was he knows exactly what it is that he is doing. His button pressing is very intense. The way that he is able to go for exactly what it is that he wants and still avoid all of the tools of ammunition that Xavier is throwing at him. And then I think just the ability to weave around that has served 13 so well. Yeah. And he's he's very calculated, but like that early stock that we saw earlier, you can see that he knows when he can smell blood in the will go for
True. He knows. He can smell it in the water. Brother has got the nose better than the Hound. It's kind of crazy. But we'll see. Hey, I mean, this Hound has made some crazy things happen before. You out-clutched Clutchy the Clown, so that's got to account for something, right? We're going back into it. We have a hail of projectiles out on deck for Xavier. Okay, both of them piling up a decent amount of percent on one another. But using the forward tilt to swat things away, like that from 13. Both of them now just kind of doing a little bit of pokes back and forth. Nothing too crazy going on here.
For sure. As 13 is finding himself in disadvantage, him sort of stalling his time off stage, back safely, and then able to get some quickly on Xavier as he's sort of sending him to the other side of that stage. That can gonna come out, take some damage from him. However, you can see that he's not a player who's afraid of sort of standing at the other side of the stage and waiting. It is going to be a flank and a half, though, as these two are sent to opposite sides of the stage. Coming back in here and then taking the very first stock of the game yet again for 13.
Yeah, he took out the dog, and that with one swipe. But okay, hold on. In reply, tossing him back into the can right here. And he takes up where he just left off. Tries to charge a forward smash there, too, going for a crazy read. Nothing insane done just quite yet. Gunman coming out here and losing his life too. I don't know how this dog still has people on payroll because they die so frequently, but whatever. I mean, job security doesn't really exist. It's fine. All right, as we're going back in here, throwing people down here as well. Find on some good percent. This is an aggressive duck hunt we're seeing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that Xavier is just trying to get his bearings, though. Coming right back here, and then, ooh, I don't know if I would stand close, but if you want to get a rapid jab like that, that's exactly what you do. Xavier going to chase 13 to the other side of the stage here. Gonna throw him into the can yet again. Not enough to talk just yet, as as 13 rather, is still able to Xavier in his spacing here at the center of the stage. And to get sent to the other side of the stage here by 13 is going to be the one to get grabbed out of that, as Xavier trying to find something here off of this can. Here, gonna get swatted back with his own can. That's not gonna be the stock just yet here. However, 13 still able to recover just by stalling off stage, and that big swing gonna come out from 13. Able to take that stock at full rage now. He's sent way off stage yet again. That grab gonna be big right into the can there. And we are back again at 0%.
Oh my gosh, we're actually seeing the confirms right now for Xavier. That's what we've been missing before. The can confirms have not been connecting, but now, because they are, we're in even stocks, and 13 swinging off the ledge. He's able to get back on, but man, this position, this percent is being piled on here by Xavier, making himself look so good at this one. He calls out the air dodge, but the driftiness of Marth proves fruitful for him in that situation. Now, kill percent on deck potentially for 13. You have to play your life here at this point. The dog has adapted. Evolution is true. Now, falling back into the stage.
All right, coming back here to the center of the stage. Xavier going to sit in shield, gonna get sent over here. Coming in with the can, proving to be so explosive as 13 is coming to the other side of the platform. It is not curtains just yet. He is coming right back in. However, he needs to time this so well. Going to get grabbed here, sent yet again off stage. 13 coming back in, sending the can right back to Oh, Xavier coming back into the center of the stage, establishing the gunman. Now, 13 looking for it. That is going to be the game there on the board.
Oh my goodness!
What a clutch!
Seriously, Xavier channeling his inner clown, clutching stuff out in that situation. Amazing from him at that point. I felt like in the middle of it, things were even stocks, and then he just flipped into another gear and took control of that game. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Even after that crazy confirmed the single hit there to the up air, I thought that was toast after seeing the execution there from 13. But man, this means that we're going to a game 3 here in winners finals. And 13's finally like, okay, maybe I need some coaching. That dog was kind of crazy.
Coming back in with this, happy to get some coaching here. I will say, absolutely, what Xavier was able to do, he got a lot, he was better able to establish his spacing, and even though 13 was still excellent at sort of bobbing and weaving around him, he started playing the forward-thinking game, and instead of saying, okay, I know where he is, where is he going to, where can I send him, was sort of what you could see Xavier thinking about a specific game, and that's how he was able to close it out. Because I think I could sort of tell that 13 hadn't expected that sort of adaptation, and that was still a pretty close game too, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right about that one, Pearl, for sure. And I mean, you made this point before too, that the person who wins the Arcadian a lot of the time gets put on PR pretty soon here, and these players are playing for grand finals, winner's side, to position themselves to be the winner of the Arcadian and maybe place themselves into PR in the next season. There is a lot riding on the line right here. Look at that. Look how much they're sweating. I feel like both these people are very composed most of the time, but they're feeling the heat of this moment. And I think we are too. This has got me on the edge of my seat.
For sure. I think you definitely have the advantage of it being a little earlier where you are. Honestly, I am so hyped right now. I can't even think about going to sleep. These two are going to come out swinging, and I just want to be here to watch it. Anyways, coming into this game, we've got a pretty aggressive start from these two. 13 throwing out a whole lot of... a little bit of damage on the board started off here, but here is Xavier sent out the can already. Facing for that up air there, and now put some damage on both of these characters.
Putting damage on both of them, like he said, swatting away the can there too, but Xavier was ready for it. And despite the proper action being taken from 13, the next chink in the armor is already in play. But now it just feels that you're gonna run at him if you're 13. It's your best bet. Hop over the cans, but look at that, punishing the air dodge there too. What's the right answer? I don't know, and because of that, we're just gonna up B to our deaths. There's no answer. Take our own stock and reset the situation.
I want to say really quickly, Xavier has gotten so good at utilizing the can as a tool of misdirection. It's what it's doing is it's forcing Xavier to swing in, and then it's forcing 13 to swing in place, and then what Xavier is just able to come right in and punish that movement. It's forcing 13 to act first, put himself in a bad situation, and then Xavier is capitalizing on it, absolutely as he should be doing.
Man, Xavier is just running away with it. I mean, it's incredible to be able to adapt with a character like Duck Hunt. You'd think that with a mid-level character like this, you'd be able to catch on to their bag of tricks, but man just keeps pulling more and more out. And it just shows that he's not just great because his character is great, he's great as a player. Putting it on full display right here. But 13 needs to swing things back into his favor. Hold on, there! That's how you do it! Set up the tipper side B, even up the stocks. That's why you play Marth right there.
for sure. Wonderful knowledge there from 13, able to get a stock here for himself. That can almost going to spell the end of his stock, though. Going to be able to recover here, but going to get a lot of damage for it at full rage here, trying to put something on Xavier as much as possible. That can's not going to close out his stock just yet. He's still going to come back to stage to recover, as Xavier trying to get an edge guard scenario here, going to get some damage, and at 184%, that is nothing to sneeze at. Coming right back here, however, that is going to be the end of the stock. Xavier at a whole stock advantage here, as he has all the time in the world to get himself set up here.
Brother, it looks so annoying to play against this dog. What do you do about it? He shuts down your every movement. You can't move inside of this minefield. 13 trying to assess the situation, try to adapt, and there we go. Reads out the role in this situation. Try to outplay him and edge guard the dog, but no. Xavier safely gets back onto the platform, now back onto the bottom of the stage. Really reset things towards his favor here. And now he's just trying to pile on percent. Pile up as much damage as you can before the final stock. But there we go. 13 somehow finds a way to even up the game.
Wonderful stock there from 13, as he was able to take that in pretty quick succession here. Able to give himself a fighting chance now. Going for the grab yet again. Gonna follow up here with the up air and sending in Xavier off stage yet again. Going to get grabbed out of that, and now he finds himself in disadvantage here versus Xavier. Air dodging to avoid the can. Coming right back here in the up B. Going to air dodge in yet again, as he is trying to find different ways to avoid the can and farther avoid Xavier's momentum. Here he comes back in, shielding in place to avoid the can, and now jumping in. He's going to get sent off stage yet again, now with the can at the ledge, and Xavier posing a formidable opponent at full rage here for 13. He's just kind of jumping back in, going to avoid the gunman, but he is going to not get himself off ledge just yet. Shielding in place, and now here he comes, coming back in and just trying to find something from center stage here. But with Xavier setting up everything up, it is not easy for 13 to come back in. Going to the center stage yet again, and these two are just sort of playing around each other. They know how dire this situation is, both standing in shield, not getting the tipper though. Coming back in here, both of them in shield. They know how scary this is. Coming back in with an aerial though, going underneath this platform here, and just sort of running around each other. That can just barely gonna miss him, but that tip of the up air is not. That is game 3 going to Xavier, pulling yet another reverse 2-0 out of a hat and securing himself a side on winners finals.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, grand final secured for Xavier, and a breath of fresh air for Pearl. Oh my goodness, rap goddess right there. That was crazy. But with that being said, what a set between the two. He survived to like, what, 180%? I thought 13 was going to die 10 different times, but he hung on. But man, as we said, Xavier was just ready for literally everything. You couldn't get an inch against this dog, and he has cemented himself finally into winner side Grand Finals. What a set that was.
So something that I want to talk about,
oh, wait,
because
wait,
I think it's...
Sorry, I pause. Is this a best of 5? This is coaching ongoing. This could be a best of 5 then.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, I got a little overzealous.
Hey, we both did. You're chilling. Yeah, someone said I realized there's no fist bump. They're just bad at sportsmanship. That's why there's no fist bump. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. You were saying come back into this?
Yeah, actually, you can go ahead. I'm going to check my input volume.
Do it. Okay, so with that being said, that means, okay, we're running a quick ad for those of y'all real quick so it doesn't play during the set. Production constantly thinking of what's going on here. If you are trying to regain composure if you're 13 after this one, it feels like you chose every single option, and the only thing that worked for you were like the tippers, because Duck Hunt was able to pile on so much percent. Just like in the Shulk match we saw before with Xavier, every stock was lived to around like 130 to 180 or so. if you're Xavier, you got to utilize the rage piled on by your opponent. Take full advantage of that and the insane mechanic of Tipper and put yourself back into this one. But if you're Xavier, man, you are sitting so pretty. You feeling so good after that, and you are one game away from Winterside Grand Finals. Ooh, interesting pick here, going to Hollow Bastion as Marth here. I would think this is a great place to set up your up airs if you're Duck Hunt with that middle platform, but we'll see exactly what the thought process here is of 13.
This seems to be a pretty good stage for Duck Hunt, I would agree. But you can see here, 13 able to get the can sent into Xavier's direction here, coming back in and then just coming back around each other, going to get sent here off stage. Now 13 is just coming back and swinging around here.
Swinging around here. Indeed, the up B out of shield. Giving feel for him every time. And okay, swatting him away. 13 going up in this and that. That's so important. So you have to make it so the Duck Hunt is a bit more aggressive towards you. One thing that dog does not like to do at all. 13 now, getting punished a little bit for swinging here. And what? That F smash was crazy out of Xavier.
Going for a crazy read here. However, it is 13 who is going to try to go for the potential edge guard situation as Xavier recovers to center stage, getting the nair here, and now sending, getting that grab there, going in way off stage here.
Whoa!
Just struggling. Wow. Okay. Okay. Not.
No jump?
Yeah. I assume that's what happened. Unfortunate stock there from 13. However, I know Xavier is going to be running with that here throughout this set, going for these big up airs. As you can see, some fight still left in 13 as he's trying to jump around that. Not going to avoid that grab though, as he just seems to be running back and forth now directly into the can, unfortunately.
No, I mean, you're right about that. And if you are 13, you have been gifted something at this point. And excuse me, Xavier, you've been gifted a stock from 13, and you got to take full advantage of it. Absolutely. But hold on, he's going so deep yet again to edgeguard, but techs the side with the up B and turns it around with an up air. Good stuff coming out yet again for Xavier. Ready for everything seems to be the name of his game. Now, tossing him into the can once again. His best friend has put on so much percent in this set. Things are looking very good, but whoever takes the stock here is going to be such a huge momentum swing to take the rest of the game.
For sure. And you can see here 13 going to utilize that to his advantage, but not the way that he wanted it to go. Unfortunately, going to lose his stock there thanks to the can from Xavier. Xavier coming back in with some up airs. Then it's going to be 13 to actually get the aerial here from this side of the stage. He knows how much he needs this, but with full rage on Xavier, he is going to try to prolong this for as much as he can. Going to get a whole lot off of that grab here into the pummel, but then just get sent way off to get that stock.
What a bait. That was such a great bait from him. Using the nair there to know that he was going to try to shield grab and punishing that with an amazing F-tilt. Great plays out of 13. I can't help but respect his attempt right here to maintain composure in this situation. But some jabs went out now from Xavier. Xavier's in a great spot in this one. He just needs one more stock to put himself into Winterside Grand Finals.
Yeah, as you can see here, 13 just trying to come back, going a little deep for the recovery in order to avoid these cans, and it's 13 who is just going to try to bob and weave his way in here. But Xavier has the patience and has the tools at his disposal to sit in shield here as he waits for 13 to come to him. Going for this big punish here from 13, able to put on a lot of damage here. However, it is still nearly at a full rage here for 13 as he's coming back, and that can is not going to take the stock just yet. But as he comes back, he air dodges in order to avoid the gunman, comes right back with the up B, going to shield that can, but that up air though is going to close out game 4 for Xavier at this Arcadian.
Amazing stuff from the Duck Hunt dog. I don't know how in the world the up air clipped the Marth, but man, what a dominant showing from Xavier, loses the game 1 and never looked back after doing 3-0 after that. This guy is incredible. Looking like the next Fawn on the sticks. The Mr. Miyagi situation of Fawn proving crucial here in the coaching, I think, as well. That was amazing. That was some of the best duck hunt play I've seen in a long time. I am just incredibly impressed how well they were able to maintain space, composure, and to really put themselves on top there.
I think it was really wonderful the way that Xavier was able to tighten up a lot of his combos. He was able to string out his advantages as long as possible. And the utilization of things like can and clay pigeons at his disposal in order to sort of bait 13 to go for those. Like the way that he would try to swing can out of the way, or he would jump to avoid can, he would air dodge, and that would set Xavier up for a perfect punish. It was 13 putting himself in a bad spot by avoiding one thing, you know, essentially sticking him between a rock and a hard place. You have two bad options presented to you, but you have to act and choose one, is how it felt for a lot of that game, especially after Xavier was able to establish himself much better. So absolutely hats off to him playing his character phenomenally, especially for a new character to learn. You know, it's not easy, but clearly with good coaching and with a lot of practice and patience, you are able to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Coaching, practice, patience, and just gotten that dog in you. It's gonna work out for you. That's gonna be amazing stuff. I can't help but think the entire time too. He was using can. It felt like as like a Kmart snake grenade to protect him at every time. What really swung things in his favor too was when he was almost edge guard on the left-hand side by 13. He used the can to protect him, light grenade, and the explosion just caught, honestly, 13 off guard to not tech in that situation. That'll mean that Xavier is in